Let's start with these English conversations about the Spring Framework. Today, we have the opportunities to speak about the Spring Framework, and it's opportunities to learn about this framework, very important in Java language. Okay, and let's start the introductions about in Spring Framework. The Spring Framework provides a comprehensive program and configuration model for modern Java-based enterprise applications on any kind of deployment platform. A key element of Spring is infrastructural support at the application level. Spring focuses on the plumbing of enterprises applications so that teams can focus on application level business logic without unnecessary ties to a specific deployment environment. And anyone can explain about the Spring framework in Java, please? Felipe, Erinaldo, Diana. Today you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
you can send a messages about Spring Framework on chat. Okay, and
So the Spring
if
Framework.
you if you if you if you ask
Mhm.
any question, okay, make yourself at home. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So about the Spring Framework, I think that it was uh, grow up about the build Java systems because like the description about the mainly focus on application level business logic. So the developer, the team, the group, yes, can start very quickly the scope in code that will explain about the business logics. So it's very important because in the past, the moment to create a new project, it's very slowly because about the configurations and configuration. So at the moment not, it's very easy to mark to select the kind of configuration and the Spring will create the executor more easy, more fast to the team, to the developer.
Okay. Welcome, Natalia. Today uh, we are going to talk about Spring Framework. Okay, in Java, I'm thinking it's an important framework for Java development. And in your opinion, uh, what what did you understand about the Spring Framework?
Okay, good evening. I work with Spring um, for 3 years now. Um, Let me try to explain. There's a lot of functions there that's easy to mainly to do configurations. For example, we go there and start IO and create the dependency, and select the dependency, and then create our project. So it's something that's already built for us. And as we can see in your screen, there's a lot of tools that we can use.
Okay, I'm thinking is one of the most important framework for Java development, and many projects in Java there are there is this framework uh, with many projects uh, in Java language and the other technologies, but uh, the Spring framework is most used for Java development. Okay, uh, welcome. Well, Costa, could you introduce yourself, please? Can you hear me? Okay. Uh, Supports policy and migrations for informations about minimum requirements, guidance, or upgrading for early versions and supports policies. Please check out the official Spring framework with pages. Okay, it's a overview about the Spring framework. There are some informations about this framework in Java, and I'm thinking the documentations for Spring Framework is most useful, uh, and the next topic is learn. Okay, I'm thinking there are some versions for Spring frameworks, and uh, the the actually versions is this current versions is 6.2.6. Okay. Uh, Anyone can read this paragraph, please?
I can.
Okay, go
Uh,
ahead.
each Spring project has its own. It explains in great details how you can use project features and what you can achieve with them. Is necessary to read the versions.
Uh, what did you understand about the versions for Spring Framework?
Mm, I don't can explain in English. Sorry.
No, no problem. Okay, and what did you learn about is in about the Spring Framework in your projects?
Uh, how about use?
Um, no, you learn. What did you
Uh,
learn about the Spring Framework?
normally to watch in YouTube.
Watch videos on YouTube. Uh,
Yes, and a little documentation too.
okay, I'm thinking there are many videos on YouTube channels about the Spring Framework. I'm thinking it's opportunities to learn more about this framework in Java. And there are other options for learning Spring framework in websites, in documentation, and uh, in some courses about the Spring framework and the tutorials on YouTube and the other websites. I think there are many tutorials about this framework is on websites, for example. Okay, and the next questions can read this paragraph, please. Anyone? Only read, okay?
Okay. Whatever you're building, these guides are designed to get your productive as quickly as possible. Using the latest Spring project release and techniques. Wait, I'm not paying attention. I have to read it again. Whatever you're building, these guides are designed to get your productive as quickly as possible. Using the latest Spring project release and techniques as recommended by the Spring team.
Okay. And about support, I think there are many versions for Spring Framework. Okay, and about the support for Spring Framework, uh, I'm thinking, for example, uh, depends on the version for Java language, for example. I'm thinking, what's versions for Java language do usually to developer? What's versions in Java? 17 to 21 or other versions?
17, 8, 2, to mobile software, 11 to three kind of version to Java.
And how about 80 versions, 11 versions?
Yes, the mainly it's at the moment 11.
Okay. And
Because in for example, in mobile projects, in the past, there exists a limit about the use the version of Java. Because the Android Studio, for example, IDE, it's not permission to use the high version to Java. But the new version, the Android Studio, it's possible change the situation to my high level Java. It's good. Now it's good.
okay. And what about you, Natalia? What's versions in Java do you use in your projects?
I usually use 17 and 21, but when I was working the last company, I used to use 11 and also 8 version because there were projects in Spring and some of them were in Java EE.
And Diane did use the version number 21.
21 versions.
Yes, she's used 21.
I think there is a long support is for these versions in Java. So 21 or 17. I think the latest versions with long support is 17 or not.
I don't know. To be honest, I use both of them, but I don't know the difference between 17 and 21.
I don't remember these moments about what versions there is a long support for Java, but that's okay. And let's continue about uh, these conversations or Spring Framework. Uh, Let me see. I think there are many informations about this framework. For example, let me see. Let's wait a minute.
So I have here in the I will put in the chat about the answer about the what the version say between the support. Yes,
Mm,
the website in this link we can see about this in the table with the number of version and the second column the dates to start and end the support
okay.
and the tab.
Okay, I think it's a important informations about the Spring Framework. Um, I think many people can learn about uh, how how it start is a new Spring Boot project. Okay, and anyone can read this paragraph, please.
Yes. So about the step number one, start a new Spring Boot project. Use startspring.io. Create a web project. In the dependence directory, search for and add the web dependence.
I can't understand you very well.
Showing the screenshot. Hitting generate button. Download the zip and unpack into a folder on your computer. For example, like this picture to check the projects like Maven or Gradle, Angular, Java, and the other point about the Spring Boot, the current version of Spring Boot changed regularly. Just shows the last release, but not snapshot. Another point about the click on add dependence. Type reg in the search box. Then click on dependence Spring Web to select it. In this in this point, we can see about the database, about the Alf, about the, for example, Kafka, security, and similars, and this point independence.
Okay, and anyone can explain about the process for creating a new project with Spring Framework, please? How can I create a new project with Spring Framework?
I can get the question because for me the answer it would be exactly like this: entering this site and the dependencies. So when you click generate, there's a zip and we unpack it, and then we can you open it in our IDE. For example, I used to use IntelliJ for Java, so I think this is the answer. But maybe you were asking something different that I didn't understand.
Okay, okay. And
So,
anyone can read about this paragraph, please?
okay, so only the point. I, I I had a problem about this screen 2 weeks ago because I don't generate project. I did click in explore to the was screen to me about the dependence, and I did make a download, but in explore, and after that I will to the IntelliJ and open these files that I download from explore, but it turned a crash in my project because the correct form is different, yes, and then generate, because in generate will create other file different than explore option. So I did make this problem stay wrong in the past, but the form, the correct form to me, I will not think different, but generate is the the correct button, and not explore it only to see about the dependence, but not to download and use in a project.
Okay. And anyone can read this paragraph, please?
Can read it.
Okay, go ahead.
Project is created by starting Spring IO contains Spring Boot, a framework that makes Spring read to work inside your app, but before but could your configuration requires Spring Boot is the quickest and most popular way to start Spring projects.
Okay. And about step two, add your code. Okay. And the other person can read this paragraph, please. Erinaldo, Natália, Felipe.
I can.
Okay, go ahead.
Uh, Step 2. Add your code. Open up the project in your IDE and locate the demo application.java file in the uh, src. I don't remember the barra man barra java barra com/example/demo folder. Now change the contents of the file by adding the extra method and annotations shown in the code below. You can copy and paste the code or just type it.
Okay. And about this code, anyone can explain about this, please?
It's an example, and we have the demo application. In the main code, we run the project. We use some annotations to so the Spring Boot can identify. So we use Spring Boot application, and we also use REST controller. We are using the controller of our application in the same class. So the controller is the part when that we access the we call it endpoint. So we have an endpoint there in get mapping slash hello, and it returns hello world.
Okay. You can say reload for these applications with starting these applications, and it's a endpoint uh, with a message, and about this message is hello. It's your name, for example, hello, Felipe, for example. Uh, after you start these applications, you can uh, you can start uh, you can you can see these messages uh, after you start the applications. Okay, uh, and uh, the other informations about Spring Framework. Okay, and let's continue. Okay, and the other persons can read uh, this paragraph, please. Anyone? Only read. Okay.
Yes, let's go. So this is all the code required to create a simple Hello World web service in Spring Boot. The Hello World method we added is designed to take a string parameter called name and then combine this parameter with the word hello in the code. This means that if you set your name to Amy request, in request, the response would be hello Amy. The S REST controller notation tells Spring that this code describes an endpoint that should be made available over the web. The at gap mapping bar hello tells Spring to use or hello met to answer requests that get sent to the localhost hello address. Finally, the request parameter is telling Spring to expect a name value in the request, but if it's not there, it will use the word road in the phone.
Okay. And about step 3, uh, try it. And the next step is to execute the applications. You can use Gradle or Maven. What is what the most used uh, for Java? Gradle or Maven, in your opinion? Anyone?
I think it's maybe.
Moving to in the larger scale, yes, maybe, but in my personal project, I use Gradle.
Okay. There are some commands. Uh, if you use Mac OS or Linux, you can execute these commands. And uh, if you use Windows, you can execute these commands. Okay, and it's a example uh, about the start the applications. Okay, you should see some output that looks very similar to this. Okay, and the next paragraph, anyone can read this paragraph, please? Only read, okay, pessoal? Uh, don't worry about the pronunciations in English, okay? Reinaldo, Natália, Daiane, Felipe.
I can. Uh, the last couple of lines here there was that Spring has started. Spring Boot's embedded Apache Tomcat server is acting as a web server and is listening for requests on localhost port H 8080. Open your browser and in the address bar at the top enter no endereço http bar localhost 80 bar hello. You should get a nice friendly response like this.
Okay, and this message is hello world. I think is most common to write these messages. Yeah, for example, when you are developing the first applications in Java, uh, this message is very common. Okay, uh, and pop quiz. What should happen if you add the interrogations name equal m to the end of the URL? Anyone can answer these questions, please?
The, the result, hello, is hello Amy.
I can't understand you very well, Felipe.
Okay, the result is hello, Amy. Amy passed like parameter to the final result. It's not more beautiful
It's
result.
very far. We can hear you.
It's very difficult to understand you. Okay, I'm thinking the answer is to is I can't remember, but you can show this name. Okay, for example, hello Amy. Okay, and the next uh, paragraph. Okay, try these popular guides. You have already seen how simple Spring can be, but it's also very flexible. There are thousands of things you can do with Spring, and we have lots of guides available to take you through the most popular choice. Why not keep on learning and try one of these additional guides? Okay, and about this example, uh, what did you understand uh, about these documentations uh, for Spring Framework? Anyone? What did you learn about Spring Framework today?
So, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I think that today was good to learn about the place that show about the number of the spring, the version, and the date about the support or not support. So this point, I before today, I didn't uh, remember about it. It was very good about the concept. I think that the appoint called the Kafka. Yes, in the list left in the website to study about about this. But
Okay.
it's all.
Anyone? Uh, uh, More informations about the Spring Framework?
I try. I think the Spring Framework is a framework for building Java application and help a lot developers create a lot application, especially for web application. Mm, only this in
Okay.
English.
Okay. Anyone? Any informations about the Spring Framework, please? in English? Can be one word, for example.
We have
Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
okay.
go ahead,
Continue, please.
Natalia.
No, I didn't get the question. You asked us to say something about Spring in general. This is the question.
About these questions is you can say any informations about the Spring Framework in English.
Okay. Spring. There's a lot of annotations as we saw there. Um, we use, for example, Spring JPA that we can connect some annotations with database. We have Lombok dependencies. Then there's a lot of annotations that we can use to facilitate create, for example, gets, setters, and some we call it boilerplates, if I'm not wrong. So I think it's very, very useful. To be honest, the most part of the time I was working with Spring. I don't know much, not using it.
Okay, guys. I will finish these English conversations about Spring Framework. Thanks for participating.